What's going on, people? We're back with another AEW review, and it is for AEW Dark, July 21st edition, episode 43. The show opened up with Taz and Excalibur on commentary, per usual. Taz mentioned that he had a new friend that he's fond of. That perked me up a little bit, perked my ears up, and I'm wondering, what does he mean by that? He has a new friend. Well, later in the show, we find out who his new friend is. The first matchup on the show was Rach Chanel versus Sheeta. Chanel gets an opportunity with the champ. It's not often that you come in and get a match with the women's champion, but Rach Chanel indeed got that. And I've also noticed that it seems that AEW is pretty high on her. This is like her third dark match in a row for AEW, so they could see something in her. In the match, Chanel messed with her hair the early part quite often, I noticed. After she did a move or two, she would primp up her hair and stuff like that. Later on commentary, it was revealed that Chanel has 9 years of experience. And from what we've seen so far with her performance on Dark, that hasn't been too obvious yet. I'm guessing that she's been held back a little bit. So I'm going to hope it's that, because from what I've seen, 9 years of experience has not shown its tail. It has not reared its head. But in the end, Sheeta wins via Falcon Arrow. I thought it was an average match. It was all right. It wasn't the best Sheeta match. I know she can do better, but that's what she was given. Second match on the card, we had Kip Sabian versus Corey Hollis. Corey Hollis is a newcomer to me. I haven't seen him. Apparently, this was his second match in AEW. I have not seen the first one. I've seen every Dark episode, every Dynamite. I did not see him on either one, so this could mean that he was on an episode that did not air, did not see the light of day, so that's possible. But I don't remember his first match. Kip kept his sunglasses on to start, and then he later took them off after realizing he had them on. I don't know if that was legit or not, but it was hilarious. It's a little funny. He then, later in the match, Kip took a sip of water that Penelope gave him from ringside, and it was a little... they kept making remarks to it on commentary with pretty much how sensual it looked as he took a sip of this water. I guess he was thinking of Penelope there. But Kip wins with the Deathly Hallows finisher. Corey didn't get too much in this match from what I saw. It was an okay match, though. Next was a segment with Dustin, Brandy, and Allie. They were having a training session on the Jaguars field in their practice facility, I believe. Dasha then got caught in the mix of Brandy and Allie's argument back and forth about stuff. They obviously still aren't on the same page, but they're working it out as they are now a team, the Nightmare Sisters. Dustin then left the interview. I think Dasha and Dustin just left, but that was your backstage segment there. The third match on the card was Brady Pierce and Sabby, formerly an NXT talent, versus the Best Friends. Sabby starts off showing some of his power with Chucky T. Sabby looked pretty good out there. He had a decent look. He looked to be in tip-top shape. From what I read online, it doesn't look like he didn't come off looking like a lesser guy. He looked pretty good in this match. Trent later unloads a bit of a mean streak onto Sabby. He then quickly tagged to Brady Pierce. Sabby tagged to Brady Pierce. Pierce takes most of the damage from the Best Friends. Savvy later hits a nice drop kick to Chucky. But the Best Friends later get their stuff in, and they win with the strong 0 to Pierce. I thought it was a nice match. Everyone looked good. Brady, Pierce, and Sabby looked to be a pretty good team. The two big guys, two tall guys, so that could work out if they plan to go on with that. Next match, Will Hobbs versus Ricky Starks. Before this match started, I wondered how Starks would get the win here, because obviously he was going to get the win, since as far as we know, Will Hobbs is not signed, but he looked good. He showed off his power on Starks to start Will Hobbs, but Starks struck a pose to fake out Hobbs to get an advantage on the ring apron. Starks later underhooks Hobbs and slams him for the win. Starks showed off his own strength with this maneuver, and he remains on a roll. I believe Ricky Starks is on a 3 or 4 win streak right now, and both look pretty good. I thought the match was good. Solid. Next matchup was Scorpio Sky versus Aaron Solo. Scorpio finally got a Tron change to go with his new theme. That's what I've noticed. They seem to be putting all the pieces together for Scorpio Sky's solo run, which I am looking forward to. As with many other people, we're looking forward to this Scorpio Sky run. But he faced off against Aaron Solo again, who is Bailey of WWE's husband, that I've come to find out, which was pretty interesting. The match starts off with some technical mat wrestling, arm bars galore. Solo then later makes a comeback. Obviously, it was Scorpio on him most of the match. But in the end, Scorpio Sky wins with a very nice-looking TKO. It's a nice match. I thought Solo looked good as well. Both guys look good. Both finished strong, even in defeat for Solo. AEW has a knack for that. Most of their talent, either in wins or defeats, they seem to look good no matter what, which is good. That's nice all around. You don't want anyone looking weak. Got to have some credibility going forward. The next matchup, Kylan King versus Diamante. Diamante has a match scheduled tonight versus Ivelisse on Dynamite, which should be pretty good. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm also looking forward to that because this tells me that both Diamante and Ivelisse have the possibility of being signed by AEW. Back to this match, both had a back and forth early on. Kylan used her reach advantage since she's pretty tall. She has a height advantage over Diamante. Diamante then uses her speed against Kylan. But in the end, Diamante wins with a code red, which looked nice. She gets her first ever victory in AEW in the process. So this tells me right there that Diamante has been signed, because I doubt they would give anyone a win if they're not signed with the company. So this also tells me that Diamante may lose to Ivelisse on Dynamite, which I have no problem with either way, because that tells me that Ivelisse herself will have been signed if she wins tonight on Dynamite versus Diamante. So that's good stuff. The match was solid. I like the match. We move on from there to the co-main event. This is one of the main events. Darby Allin versus Robert Anthony. This would be Darby Allin's first match in over a month. It's been a while, and you can tell he was hungry. He was hungry. He was anxious to get back in there. His first match in over a month. Darby comes out and stares down Taz. This is due to Darby and Brian Cage, the altercation they had in the Casino Ladder match back at Double or Nothing. Brian Cage had Darby Allin on the ladder. He just tossed him outside the ring while he was lying flat on his ladder, and that pretty much put Darby out for all this time. So obviously he had to stare Taz down to send a message to Cage through Taz, and Taz gave it back to him via commentary. But as this was going on, as Darby was staring down Taz, Robert Anthony wanted Darby to pay attention to him because those two were in the match after all. Robert had words for Darby to get his attention. But later, while Robert Anthony was mouthing Darby down, Darby uses his speed against Anthony with a flurry of punches and such. Then Anthony got the upper hand after he felt disrespected, showing his aggressive side in the process. Robert Anthony showed his aggressive side. Taz continued to go in on Darby via commentary at this point. Darby later wins via coffin drop. Brian Cage then makes an appearance. He suplexes Darby over the ropes while he was on the entrance ramp. And then guess what? Guess who else got involved here? Ricky Starks then helps Cage dispose of Allin. They used a double team move to finish off Darby. And overall, it was a nice match full of storytelling and action, quick speed action. And the segment afterwards, the beatdown, was great as well. Moving along the story, as Mox and Taz will have something to say on Dynamite tonight. So I have a feeling this will be a part of that. This will have something to do with that. Taz will probably introduce his new client, which is Ricky Starks, to go along with Brian Cage. So it seems Taz is forming up a new faction that will be the voice of, which should be interesting. Looking forward to that. A lot of factions going around lately. AEW started the trend. They started the trend, and I see it spilling into other promotions as well, believe it or not. But all in all, good match, great match, good storytelling. And we moved on to the final main event. That was the Librarian, Peter Avalon, and Brandon Cutler versus the Butcher and the Blade. Avalon gets beat down most of this match. Later, Leva tries to help, but Avalon topes both Leva Bates and the Butcher on the outside. In the process of this, Leva gets her glasses broken, and Cutler then comes to the rescue with the hot tag. Butcher then, unfortunately, botches a moonsault from Cutler a bit. But in the end, a full death suplex later gets delivered to Cutler to secure the Butcher and the Blade's win over Peter Avalon and Brandon Cutler. I thought it was a nice match, full of storytelling, has some storytelling. Will Brandon Cutler and Peter Avalon get their first win? Well, it didn't happen this time, but maybe next time. Also, after the match, the Butcher and the Blade had some words for the Bucks, whom they're going up against tonight on AEW Dynamite in a Falls Count Anywhere match. They send a message to the Bucks with their beatdown of Peter Avalon and Brandon Cutler. Some good bit of storytelling there. And it sets up for tonight's match between the two, which should be good. And there you have it. There was your review for AEW Dark, July 21, 2020, episode 43. Overall, I thought it was a solid episode full of some nice matches. Introduced a bit of storytelling as well. I noticed they started adding a lot more backstage segments, promos, and post-match segments to Dark, which helps elevate the show, in my opinion. Makes it a bit more of a must-see watch, which is good stuff. I like it. And that will do. Feel free to like and comment on the video. I will have a Dynamite review up tomorrow, and that should be another good show, but we will see tonight. I will thank you guys for listening / watching, and have a good day or night. Take care.